guys, so today we're filming in a different spot. The lighting is still a bit off because I don't have a proper light for here, but I finally got myself a desk, which is like step number one to being productive. It took me like 6 months, but I built it myself and I'm so proud. Anyway, today we're talking about something that I talked about recently, which is James Charles and that whole situation, because there are some familiar faces popping up again in the story. So subscribe to the bell, like, comment for engagement if you want more of this content. All my other stuff will be in the description, and let's just get into it. So today's video is very kindly sponsored by Raycon, have been a great help to all of my channels for the last like probably 3 years, which is incredible. So you can click the link in the description or go on buyraycon.com/Angelika Oles to get 15% off your order. The Raycon Everyday Earbuds are the perfect earbuds to use every day, just to listen to your audiobooks, your music, your podcasts, anything that you want to listen to. They have these customized gel tips that come in different sizes, so you can basically adjust the size of the earbuds to fit your ear perfectly so you don't fall out when you're running, exercising, go to the gym, anything like that, going on a walk. And the more well fitted your earbuds are to your ear, the less outside noise you will hear, which will just enhance your listening experience. The earbuds offer 8 hours of playtime, and then obviously the actual container that you put them in offers an additional 32 hours of battery life, which is incredible. You basically forget to charge them because they last so long. I mainly use mine at the gym because I know they won't fall out and I can basically just be in my zone. I also use them when I'm walking my dog. They're super discreet, they're small, they fit super well, they're compact, I can put them in my pocket. It's perfect. It's the ideal option for going on walks. They also have wireless charging, which is super convenient, but you can also use a cable if you want. The Raycons have been modified a number of times to fit the curvature of the ear. The ear is a really odd shape, so it is super difficult to fit into your ear, but Raycons have done that perfectly. Pairing is super easy. Once you pair them, they're paired for life. You don't have to keep on going into like settings and trying to pair it. It just works. And you can also walk away 33 feet. So if you have to leave your phone somewhere and you're doing chores around the house or anything like that, it still works. You can also control them with touch on the actual earbuds. Once again, you don't have to have your phone on you. You can have your phone in your bag and not have to worry about, pausing or playing your music. With my discount code they can get in the description or on buyraycon.com/Angelika Oles, you'll get 15% off, which makes them super affordable and a great gift to yourself or someone else. So thank you to Raycon for sponsoring today's video, and let's get into it. I filmed a video on James Charles that I'm going to put in the description just for ease of access. And if you guys don't know, James Charles in the past has been caught messaging people he shouldn't be messaging, mainly during the Bi Sister era when, Tati exposed him and then he did his No More Lies video. People kind of believed him. Some people did, some people didn't. After that, he just kept on getting caught messaging either underage people or just straight boys, just people that he shouldn't really be messaging for anything. He also then went on the Impulsive podcast and says that his type is younger men. And I'm sure he meant that in like the legal age thing, but just with everything combined, that just is not what we needed to hear. So recently another guy popped up on TikTok and posted a few TikToks about kind of his experience as a straight guy with James Charles, and James Charles was clearly messaging him in a way that was weird.
So obviously, being that you are straight, I would assume that you don't know a lot about like the gay community. So if I'm being like, oh my god, David, you're annoying, over text, right? You don't know if I'm saying like, oh my god, David, you're being annoying, or like, oh my god, David, you're being annoying, or like, oh my god, David, you're being fucking annoying. Because all three of those are completely different like emotions that you cannot see through text. You only get to actually experience those through a FaceTime call or through being in person. Even over the phone, you still miss out on things because you're missing somebody's facial expressions, right? So because you refuse to hang out with people or because you refuse to FaceTime, you're not allowing people to actually get to know you as like a human being. And that's a massive, massive problem whenever it comes to being in a relationship with somebody. You cannot fall in love with somebody simply just from text.
Of course, a lot of people did say like, clearly this guy isn't showing what he was saying to make James feel like he can continue being flirty, which is very true. Of course, this guy might have been responding in a flirty way, whatever it is, or trying to set this, situation up to look one way or another. That doesn't change the fact that James Charles said that he would never use his fame or money. In one of his apology videos, said he would never use his fame or money to get a guy to like him or date him, even though that's exactly what he was doing in the messages, offering his $10 million mansion to live in, to go on trips. That sounds like offering fame and money to me, if I'm not confused. Anyway, so that happened. And then the guy's sister, allegedly, posted a TikTok basically exposing her brother to be like, oh yeah, he was just setting James up, like he's not a great guy, like he's doing this to make James look like a villain.
I didn't think I'd be coming on the internet to be talking about this, but, well, this is my little brother. This is David's account, and he was talking to James Charles about a month and a half ago. All those videos are a month and a half old. And he started posting them last night around midnight, and they went viral. Now Twitter is doing its thing, Reddit's doing its thing, people on YouTube doing their thing. And he obviously did it for views. There's no hidden meaning behind it. And James Charles did nothing wrong in this situation. I know the screenshots that's on the internet that were sent to my brother look kind of questionable. But again, they spoke for a few weeks. My brother led him on a bit, even though he said he was straight. He was leading him on, and I told my brother to take the videos down. He pretty much just told me to go myself and didn't care. But obviously I care, because I just didn't see a reason for this. Like, whatever past allegations he has, not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about this. Yeah. And the internet just baffles me that they took his videos and just like, here you go, world. More, get on the bandwagon of fuck James Charles. But that's pretty much all I had to say. I think my brother's being a punk and is being out of pocket for posting. But I guess that's just my 2 cents.
Regardless, if you're trying to make James look like a villain, James shouldn't be being in situations where he is made to look like the villain, because he already is the villain. That's my opinion, that's my 2 cents. Tana Mongeau recently went on the Jeff FM podcast, which she's on a lot because her and Jeff are like best buds. And she was so excited to address this whole situation. Like, you could tell she was just so happy that like finally James is getting his consequences for his actions.
Hey, look.
What's this?
I'll read it. Let's get right into the news. Sorry, this one brings me like joy, and that's so f***ed up. It's so f***ed up to bring me joy. James Charles is back at flirting, making straight men uncomfortable. The alleged screenshots reveal the benefits of being his boyfriend. In one text, James says it's a really lucrative role. James used Instagram's vanish mode to attempt to prevent a leak. Can you read these texts? Well, you probably can't see that.
I can't see that far.
This is just so funny. To me, okay, obviously, like, it's wrong, but I'm not sitting here, like, trying to actually come down on the logistics of it. It's more so, like, if you're gonna do this, like, be less embarrassing. Like, it's just hilarious. He DM'd this guy and he goes, it's a really lucrative role. It's called My Boyfriend. Requirements: 6'2 plus. Must love escape rooms, horror movies, and cuddling. Big armpit hair. An occasional FaceTime call. The salary is $0, but it's a good job offer, I think. Perks include a cute boyfriend with a great personality and huge ass. Free living in a $10 million house in LA.
And he mentioned this to a kid? He sent this all
Fun travel opportunities, good head, and more. It's not a kid, it's a straight guy. Like, remember that a lot of his, like, cancellation was...
Is he underage?
No. Like, a lot of his, like, Well, I don't think so.
Oh, but he's just aggressively going after a guy that's, like, straight.
Like, and not a...
Yeah.
Obviously, I will say this guy had to have been responding for it to, like, keep going down the thread. And, you know, that's a benefit of the doubt. I just wish the things he would say made me want to die less.
Yeah, and it's the same he's always done. He's like not learning. What the f*** are you doing?
So she actually like reads the text on the screen. She's essentially saying the same thing that we're all saying, which is like, this guy might have been entertaining this conversation. This guy might have been flirty, yada yada yada. But James just isn't good at picking people, and James doesn't learn. Like, he just doesn't learn what is appropriate and what isn't, and he keeps on putting himself in situations where guys have the chance and the opportunity to expose you. It's not about like who's in the right, who's in the wrong. Stop using your explore page, your For You page. Like, you have lost the privileges of finding a boyfriend through the explore page. Maybe someone else could do it innocently. I just think with James Charles and the way he's been going through these situations, like, please find a man in real life. Find a guy who isn't going to post you on TikTok as an expose. Do you know what I mean? Like, just find someone who wouldn't even put you in that situation, because it's getting embarrassing. You know what's more embarrassing though? James Charles' response to the whole thing. Now that I've got my desk, I can just like easily access my laptop and like get the tea. That is so fun to me. I'm living my best life here. I don't know if you guys can tell. Basically, after this whole thing happened, as I was kind of posting my video, James Charles started liking a lot of tweets defending him, which, look, if you are James Charles and you've like done this thing in the past, to then sit there and try to like people's tweets, it gives me the ick. it gives me not good vibes. And this was in response to Tommy Gabriel on Twitter. He posted essentially a thread on Twitter of all the messages, all the TikToks, all the screenshots, and then people were kind of responding to that. And obviously James Charles didn't respond to the whole allegations in the sense of he didn't post the video, he didn't post, as far as I'm concerned, I didn't see him post an Instagram story, a tweet about this. He was just liking people defending him. So he liked a tweet saying, James Charles harassing another straight, you know good and goddamn well these straight men are leading him on so they can get a hit tweet viral post. Yes, but like we all said, you've kind of lost your social media privileges when you message underage people, when you harass people, when you begged people for nudes and all sorts of different things. Like, this is just, I would like to also remind everyone that there was like a 14-year-old, pretty much like a 14 or 15-year-old guy in the past that said that James Charles was talking to him. There are people that also talked about being underage and having their age in their bio. Even if you hate James Charles, there's no way you believe he was having a fully sexually charged conversation by himself in some random straight man's DMs, as if he hasn't done that before. Liking this tweet is just lacking in self-awareness, because as if you haven't done that before. Allegedly. The uncomfortable straight man you're talking about is not uncomfortable at all in these messages. He's heart reacting and saying things like, you are both great. I'm not a James Charles fan, but I will say this straight man, David, looks pretty stupid right now. And there was a thing where James messaged him and was like, oh, you're just following this one other girl, like who is that? And he was like, oh, I'm just talking to her as well. That could mean that the guy is bisexual. I mean, I'm not here to debunk his sexuality. I don't really, But saying, oh no, you're both great, just feels like a, because James was really pushing for her. He was like, oh, I'm better than her. I'm better. Like, he was very giving pick me vibes, but like weird. I'm better than her. And the guy was just like, you're both great. Like, to me, that didn't sound like a super flirty text. It sounded more just like someone being nice. Just like, oh no, you're both great. Also, if this guy was super into James Charles, he wouldn't be using him for clout on the internet, because like, clout is free. This guy is never gonna have a career from exposing James Charles. None of the boys or guys in the past that have exposed James Charles have massive careers right now. Please point me to one that's making millions of dollars a year from being an internet personality. I don't see it personally. And that's why I don't really see this whole like, oh, when someone makes allegations against someone, they're doing it for clout. What kind of clout are we talking about here? Because I don't see any of these boys having, like I said, a career on the internet. Now, when would he have made money? Oh, by dating James Charles. Since James Charles is offering to live in this $10 million mansion, go on free trips, go to Coachella, yada yada, wouldn't it make more financial and clout sense to become James Charles's boyfriend? Like, clearly these men are not getting anything really from exposing him, other than just like a few views on one TikTok. Like, really, if these men were clout chasers or gold diggers, they would gold dig their way into James Charles's mansion, but they're clearly not. James Charles, this is an earnest, good faith suggestion. Please hire a professional matchmaker. Those are ones for high earning individuals that are too busy to meet people and don't need clout. I know you want love in your life. Make a small investment towards finding it. And James Charles liked that, as if this is like a new concept to him. As if for the last 3 years, we haven't all been saying, go find yourself a rich lawyer. Go find yourself a rich accountant. Go find yourself a gay man in LA, as if you're not in like the hub of, I feel like if you were in the middle of like nowhere, this wouldn't be understandable, but it would be more understandable that like there isn't much choice, much option. You're in a massive city, You tell me you can't find a singular person there who would be interested in you, like genuinely interested in you. You have to go on your For You page and fly these boys out to prove something to them, to get them through money or influence. You can't find just a rich lawyer who's just in LA and happens to be gay and doesn't need your money or influence, and there's no power dynamic there. You're just good vibes, just, It's like, this advice is really good if this was like his first rodeo, but it isn't. And he's been saying that he's not going to use like social media to find a boyfriend in all of his apology videos, and that hasn't been the case. I just wanted to address like, even like his old friends, Tana Mongeau is just like, she literally said, she's like, I'm not perfect. And coming from me, like, he's just not a morally good person. And that's coming from Tana Mongeau. Liked a tweet where someone basically talked about this guy's sister as well, that she like exposed him. Fair enough. Like, this guy might also be not a great person. One person being not great doesn't make you a great person. Like, I want to make that very clear. Like, two wrongs don't make a right. Both of you can be wrong at the same time. This guy was clearly leading you on for clout, which he would have gotten more clout and money if he had just become a James Charles boyfriend. But that this situation with this guy doesn't make you any more in the right. And that's just what I wanted to add to this. I think, like, I'm just so sick of James Charles for doing this all the time. Also, I just wanted to add that throughout all of this, kind of from By Sister onwards, people have been criticizing people that have stuck by James Charles, like his friends, mainly someone like Manny Mue, who just has always stayed following him, commenting on his pictures, liking like his pictures, clearly just being friends with James Charles and therefore co-signing this behavior. Manny Mue actually ended up responding to a tweet. I'm going to put up on the screen right now, basically just defending James Charles, and James Charles had liked Manny Mue's response. So if anyone was like on the fence about if Manny is supporting James, he is. To me, that's like a sign of a no-no for me. Mainly with all the stuff that's come out, whether he's being stringed along or not, I wouldn't feel comfortable being friends with him. And it's not like Tana Mongeau can cut him off. I'm sure everyone else can cut him off. And this is just allowing him to behave the way he behaves, because it makes him feel like, well, if my friends are not cutting me off, then clearly I'm not doing anything wrong, when he is. So I just wanted to give a little update to this whole story, because I felt like I left on a bit of a cliffhanger because James Charles hadn't like responded to this. I love my new setup. I'm gonna get a light. And that's that on that. Subscribe with that bell, like, comment for engagement, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye guys.